You have been pushed to your absolute limit. For months, a gaslighter has been quietly crossing your boundaries, lying about their actions, and subtly insulting your intelligence behind closed doors. You finally reach your breaking point. You lose your temper, raise your voice, and explode with raw, screaming anger. The exact millisecond you lose control, the gaslighter's face transforms. They calmly step back, look at the crowd around you, and whisper, "See? Look at how unhinged and aggressive they are. I have to deal with this toxic behavior every single day." In less than 3 seconds, your reputation has been completely executed. The person who committed the chronic psychological offenses has magically transformed into the victim, and you, the person who was systematically targeted, have been framed as the villain of the room. In advanced behavioral dynamics, this is called reactive abuse. It is a calculated, deeply sinister trap designed to weaponize your own nervous system against your credibility. Today, we are performing a forensic analysis on this frame. We are going to deconstruct exactly why gaslighters hunt for your anger and hand you the precise, high-status protocol to short-circuit the trap in under 10 seconds. Let us pull back the curtain on the structural mechanics of reactive abuse. A master gaslighter or narcissist knows a fundamental law of social physics. An audience will rarely notice a subtle, quiet, invisible provocation, but they will always notice a loud, emotional reaction. Therefore, the gaslighter does not attack you in the open air. They use low-level microaggressions. They use a sarcastic tone, roll their eyes, intentionally forget your requests, or subtly withhold affection. Their brain is actively treating your mind like a pressure cooker. They are intentionally tightening the valve, waiting for your internal pressure to build. They don't want you to agree with them. They want you to scream. Why? Because the exact moment you scream, you hand them absolute accountability immunization. The conversation is no longer about their months of lying and disrespect. The conversation shifts entirely to your tone of voice and your anger. They use your legitimate, justified reaction as a physical piece of evidence to prove to your boss, your family, or your friends that you are the unstable problem in the relationship. Your rage is the fuel they use to run their smear campaign. Defeating this trap requires supreme, unshakable neurological discipline. The exact millisecond you feel a gaslighter pulling your emotional strings to trigger an explosion, you must completely refuse to play your assigned role in their script. You do not shout, and you do not explain yourself. Instead, you deploy the Clinical Fluidity Protocol through 3 precise behavioral phases. Phase number 1 is the internal valve release. When the provocation lands, recognize the rush of heat in your face as a deliberate trap. Do not speak. Take a slow, controlled breath, tuck your oval hands into your side, and freeze your expressions into a blank, neutral mask. By forcing a 3-second delay, you allow your prefrontal cortex to reclaim control from your panic center, completely halting their momentum. Phase number 2 is the strategic projection mirror. Instead of matching their volume, drop your voice down to half your normal volume and half your normal speed. Look them directly in the face and drop this precise linguistic script. Your tone is incredibly aggressive right now, and I'm completely uncomfortable with how you're reacting. We can discuss this when you've calmed down. Deliver this line with absolute, deadpan, clinical calm. This phrase is a total frame inversion. By using these exact words, you take the very labels they were planning to use against you, aggressive and emotional, and you permanently pin them onto the gaslighter before they can launch their trap. You are calling out their internal chaos to the room, completely reversing the psychological pressure. Phase number 3 is the transactional exit. The absolute second the decoupling line leaves your mouth, do not wait around for their defense or a comeback. Turn your shoulders away and walk completely out of the room. High-status individuals state their boundaries and immediately remove their presence because their peace of mind is far too valuable to waste on psychological theater. You leave the gaslighter entirely alone in the room, holding their own toxic energy, with absolutely zero reactive evidence left to exploit. True power over a gaslighter is never won by proving your innocence through screaming. It is won by maintaining absolute emotional sovereignty over your own nervous system. A social predator can only frame you as the villain if you hand them the weapon of your uncontrolled anger. Stop letting toxic people manage your reactions. The next time a manipulator tries to push you to your breaking point, do not panic and do not shout. Stand tall on your own 2 feet. Execute the internal valve release. Flip the frame with the projection mirror. Walk away into your own peace and protect your internal fortress. You hold the sovereign armor now. If you want to keep building your psychological defenses and learning how to protect your peace, protect your mind by hitting that subscribe button right now. Stay aware, stay safe, and never let them pull your strings.